So I think that whether they want to do it or not, everybody else is. So even though they're more difficult to use now without proper GUIs, I think the best way to ease into it is just do it. You know, whenever you're learning a new tool, like you're learning Photoshop, or you're learning copywriting, or you're learning how to use a camera, the first couple months are difficult, but there's a lot of online resources, especially around for ChatGPT and Midjourney, where you can watch YouTube videos, you can get help with prompts, there are Discord groups, there are forums. So there's a lot of opportunities and a lot of resources for people to ease into it.
So one way to learn about generative AI and ChatGPT is through browsing internet and YouTube. There is lots of information available. Everybody's able to educate themselves on subjects of AI and ChatGPT. And also there is emerging number of consultants in the area of AI that can also help with different tasks of whether setting up AI automation or creating custom prompts for the companies. That will be another solution, which will be less time consuming, of course.
So I think that from the ChatGPT side or the textual side, it's about giving reference copy and being specific to actually undo the bias. So pretend that you're a person who's like this or act like this. Use role models almost in ChatGPT, which are non-biased, or feed it sources of proper information that's been fact-checked. From the visual point of view with tools like Midjourney, again, it's about giving it proper reference images. So I've done many generative AI projects here in the UAE and trying to get proper representation of what Emiratis actually look like is quite difficult. But once you give it enough reference images and enough reference content, you can undo the bias. But you always need to sense check that, especially if you're a designer who is not, you know, of the culture here. You want to make sure that your work is checked before it goes to the client.
It's already doing it. We've just seen an example that ChatGPT is able to pick up some of this dialect that is used in the Middle East, and also some of the words that are not originally in the English language, but then they've been used as a transformed from a noun to a verb, which also it recognized that it was a word Dubizzle, and it originates from the website based in the UAE, which is called Dubizzle. With ChatGPT version 5 and higher, it will be more and more effective in recognizing human language and human dialects and various nuances of the language, just because Transformer is specific architecture that is able to facilitate that. So I've given two examples of Dubizzle It and Yalla Let's Go. So Yalla Let's Go is something very typical for the Middle East. It's whether you're Arabic speaker or non-Arabic speaker, we all use that in communication with colleagues, with friends. We all understand what it means. It means we encourage other person to actually make an effort and go somewhere. So unlike Google Translator, ChatGPT was able to say that it means the encouragement to another person to go and make a move, and also highlighted that it's particularly popular in the Middle Eastern region. So this is how we know that it's already able to identify dialects. Whereas if you put it in Google Translator, it will be confused on which language to translate it from. It will maybe translate "let's go," but then it will be confused with "yalla," and it won't give you any outputs. And the second example is Dubizzle It. As the popular art says, for a person to list something on Dubizzle, they need to Dubizzle it. So it's a derivative from word Dubizzle, which is another Middle Eastern and Dubai website. So it was also able to make a connection between Dubizzle and Dubizzle It. So even with these little details, and I believe that word emerged just a few months ago, it was already made a connection between Dubizzle and Dubizzle It.
Knowing that ChatGPT is being fed from copyright worked, you need to make sure that in the legal jurisdiction that you're in, which is where the video is being shown or whatever the social media post is being done, that the work is transformative enough. It's okay to be inspired by people, but plagiarism is all out. So if it's a starting point from a famous copyrighted work, but it's different enough that now it's yours, that should be fine, but I'm not a lawyer, so check. So as I mentioned at the end of my presentation, we are a world leader in the GCC area, and we were world leaders for a couple months, even beating Meta in terms of our AI technology. So I have one recommendation. Everyone is obsessed with the programming and the training and the technology behind AI. No one is leading AI design. So I believe that as a champion for younger people getting into the field, I would love a government-sponsored program to help train Emirati youth in making the best AI design, because there is no place in the world where any government is funding this program. So I think as a designer, I might be biased, but if we were going to stick our mark, yes, continue the great work with Falcon 40B and doing great technology, but also do a government-led initiative in AI design education.